Oh, come in. We like new people.
Okay.
Let's see, yeah, grab that chair right there. Grab that chair and we're in. I mean, there's like 18 actors, right? So we really are.
No, I got
5 of them are
an
here.
idea here.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Oh, thank you, Doro. Here, could you put that in?
There you go.
Could you plug that in somewhere?
Thanks. Did you have a at Randomonium? You have a at? Do you have a handle? Do you have a website? What do you have?
Random People Theater Project.
.org.
Okay. Randompeopletheater.org. Okay.
No?
No. These things I'd love for them to fit. You can feel that.
What am I listening to?
Like GoldenEye, like B tracks.
Could you turn mine up a little bit? It's 3, I think.
I can't hear anything. Can you all look at me with a very theatrical face?
But of course.
That's better. Okay.
Yours
Got
may
it.
be
Do you
clicking
have
Finally, I
noises.
get them all.
Do you have an adapter that fits this?
Okay, I need to be
No.
turned up.
You mean for the,
Yeah, okay, so
This
hers
doesn't-
is 5. It needs to get turned up.
what is it for?
For
I can barely hear it.
Go more.
He's this kind.
Fair enough.
Oh, I see, okay.
Can you hear? Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
John Paul and George had one microphone, and they did just fine.
We're gonna do this. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, but you got it here too.
Yeah. But we got, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you guys could share this one, and then her
Oh,
and I
there's
will
3
share
of us,
this
okay.
one. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I actually don't like the tone
Oh,
of
so
it.
much. This one doesn't go, this is as far as it'll go, so you'll have to lean in, Emily.
Okay.
So I'm
I'll
gonna do a
trade.
little introduction and then
Sure.
introduce and introduct. Interdict.
Did we?
No,
No, this doesn't happen.
it's so it's a 3.5 to 8-inch adapter.
What are those adapters?
Where's the
on there?
KMUD?
They're very close, but
I know,
I
where's
feel
the
like
engineer?
the amount
Yeah.
of force
Yeah.
necessary is
Yeah, but you
uncomfortable.
can't hear the rest.
You can't hear?
Oh, no, you don't have headphones though. I mean, I think
Oh,
I can
he
hear
does.
yours.
Your headphones, you aren't hearing on them?
They're not, no. Okay, wait, oh, you're getting a jack.
They won't they go, put them in number 6.
Ah,
Remember, we had a, yeah, try,
There's
try,
no
Is there
adapter.
one
here,
more?
try
Shocking.
this.
Hello.
Okay.
it's-
Here. Who, why do I end up with
Well,
that?
we just plugged another one in.
Doro just brought one.
Oh, yeah, the Doro got one.
Can you hear?
There's a buzz.
Try
That's a
number
good
6.
sign.
I'm gonna try number,
Still a buzz. Yeah.
Cool.
Do we have one more set?
It's Katie's.
Right, no, but for Andy.
here.
Here.
Okay, hold on.
okay.
Let's max this place out.
Who's engineering?
We don't have a Twitter. but it's
Okay.
like website.
All right, here
On
you go.
Facebook, it's Random People Theater.
Okay.
Pass this down, one more. There's one more headphone.
There's another one.
Is it pipe?
Oh, Dennis is engineering.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Is there music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be.
They
Can't
turned
hear
off,
it.
they turned off the,
Oh,
we're not on.
No!
It's a classic.
No!
Oh,
Aw.
I was told
So
I
are
would
we
never
doing
have
any-
to hear
are
this
we-
again.
are we
This
doing
is
any singing or
this is
dancing this
violating my
time? Are we-
contract.
are you
Yes,
doing
you
it?
are.
I heard we are, but I don't know what.
Are you what?
Singing, dancing. I hear we
Yes,
are,
we are,
but
we are.
I haven't
Yes, we are.
learned. They're
There
counting
is
on
gonna
quick
be
Meeting on
learners.
Saturday.
Quick
There's gonna be a
learners.
singing for everybody or just the end? Just,
It's easy. It's two
There's a
verses.
chorus.
It's two verses. If you don't know what you're
And
saying, say
they
la
get
la
good and
la.
stuck in your head real quick.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
hello.
We got
Howdy.
a whole cast of us over here.
Yeah, so this is Public Affairs. By way of introduction, I'm one of the producers of the Randomonium show this year. And in my ever pursuit of marketing of the show, I was popping in the station, and I am actually a KMUD programmer as well. And I realized, well, it's KMUD Pledge Week and or fundraising week, and we want to do a promo. And I thought, wait a minute, there's a whole bunch of KMUD people that are in the show this year and in past shows. And I thought, what a confluence, cross-pollination sort of situation. And it got me thinking more about just culture in general.
Community creative arts, like
Yeah.
a powerhouse of Southern Humboldt is the Playhouse and KMUD and like,
Yeah.
you know,
Mateo.
Mateel, yeah.
And it, you know, the culture is so much more than just what we choose to smoke or what music we listen to. It's about
Excuse me.
people doing things together.
Excuse me.
We should probably all introduce ourselves.
Yeah. So I'm Josh Golden, and we're gonna go around and describe a little about ourselves here. I first listened to KMUD when I moved up to the area in 1989. I hooked up my solar panel to the radio, and I didn't know anybody dialed in KMUD. Oh, I listened to Ed Denson's show, I think, first. And quickly got hooked on the talk shows, right? That was Rick Thorngate and Rick Cooper and Paul Ensmer, of course, and I ended up inheriting his show a few years ago when he passed. Little did I know he was my neighbor at the time, but KMUD was the confluence of events. But it also, this whole event makes me think of the old, from the early 90s, the Life and Times newspaper. And how affectionately people were referred to as the Geek of the Week because the cover of that paper featured two community members and their little biography, life story, and it's really how you get to know who's in the community. We don't have that kind of thing happening anymore. So in that respect, we've got a room full of people, some old-timer types, some newcomer types, some dyed-in-the-wool locals, and let's get going here. Tell us something, your name and what you do.
Hello, my name is Galen Latsko, and I generally antagonize and irritate my fellow cast members as much as possible.
All right,
You're born and raised here, right?
Yes, I was born and raised here in beautiful southern Humboldt County, and this is the Playhouse is a place that I used to go to school there and terrorize teachers instead of directors and castmates.
And you're also a KMUD programmer.
I wouldn't go so far as programming.
Well-
They had me talk in the morning, and then they kept interrupting me. So
And you also have offered computer instruction.
yes, I work at Emerald Technologies in town, a subsidiary of Garth Incorporated, a fellow KMUD luminary, and I teach classes at the library on Wednesdays at 5 to 6 in Garberville, and we'll be starting a senior center class here too. I wear many hats.
That's called culture.
Yeah, oh God, let's not get carried away.
let's see, we're going clockwise. I'm Shaka.
No, you're not.
Some long time of being a local. I was Garberville born, gummy bear haver now, and some would know son of Shyla, who's been a KMUD programmer longer than I've been around a bit. It's approximately, you know, she's been in the community before me, and then up in Arcata taking Arcata taking some HSU courses around the old KHSU
R.I.P.
airing days. Yeah, she got away with the late night boundary pushing shows. She would brag to me for years that most of the rules that they ended up developing there were specifically made as in like, don't do what Shyla did. And it's all some pretty cool stuff, you know, like anyway, a bunch of producing and whatnot. But then I got my start with the Environment News Service here at the MUD, And that was when I was like 11, 12, 13, etc. And it was kind of a weekly read through environmental news kind of thing. And I've always stuck around doing either some schooling or some community work or something at the Mateel.
And the latest at the Mateel was?
Latest at the Mateel, right, Bada Bing Burlesque and Snack Attack the other week. Got my first chance to very purposefully dance in a long while.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, to shirtlessly dance. Well,
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
yeah, and it's a good time. You get to wear sunglasses indoors at night. You know, it's a good situation, and then you solve problems behind the set. So like, mermaids need more duct tape. Like
Don't
this
they always?
carabiner must be fiddled with.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, and so yeah, I keep busy enough. And then also do some programming on Friday nights with my mom, Wing It a Prayer, where we push some boundaries and talk some global politique and comedy and stuff like that. And play music mostly.
Hi, I'm Agnes, and if you haven't heard me on the radio, I don't know where you've been. I was one of the original KMUDers. Actually, when we went on air 5 watts before we actually went full on air, I was on air then, and I've been doing native programming, Heart of the Earth, every Wednesday morning, and then the World Beat Show. I did that. I started that 2 years after KMUD went on air when Jimmy Jerzlag, he had been doing it, and then he went to work for Music for Little People, and that opened up, and I was like, yeah. And so that's my radio experience, and I ran the KMUD press tent, and I've just interviewed so many incredible people at the radio station, and that's just the joy, for a lot of programmers of just getting to interview people and talk with people, and I mean, I could know Ola Tunji before he died, Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, just incredible legends. And it was because of my work here at KMUD.
And you've been a Random People for a long time, too.
I've done every one but 2, I think. Yeah. I didn't do it last year because I had surgery, and then the first one I didn't do it. But after that, been very involved. I've been, I was a theater major in college, so this was a lot of fun. And I had, I had been doing. I left Hollywood because I couldn't, it was just incredible, and you had to sell your soul and you had to sell your body, and which neither I could do. But when I turned 50, I started doing it again in San Francisco, so I was doing a lot of independent film and stuff, but it was, film and theater is just so different, and so I just wanted to get back to theater, and so Random People was right there. The door's open, and we love everybody. Like Katie's here; it's her first time, and it's just, and well, her daughter from Recycle Youth convinced her, but, and so we just opened the door, and I love, it's like I'm doing this year a piece with Marilyn. And she's been doing theater forever, her and I, and then we have a young man that's the first time on stage, and I was walking with him the other day, and he said, well, my girlfriend, she said, I'm working with the legends, and I said, hey, we're all here. I said, don't, we're here to help you in any way, we're all equal on that stage. There's no one, this one's better, that one's better, or whatever. We're all equal, and we love to share that knowledge and make everyone feel comfortable. And it's, Random People's just a lot of fun, and people write their scripts, and and other people direct, and it's just it's a lot of fun, and we sure hope that you all come out and enjoy that fun with us.
Right, you've been actor, director, and writer.
Oh yes, I've written, I've directed, and I do acting, and Marilyn and I have actually, Marilyn Foot and I have actually done a handful of pieces together at Random People, so it was so much fun to get to work with her again this year with a great piece that Leah Randolph wrote, and so come out.
My name's Emily Totten. I am an avid KMUD listener. I'm actually not a programmer right now, but back when I was in high school, I was on the youth and radio rotation, so which I love to hear on Saturdays. I hear Uma, Katie's daughter, And I love Digital Divide, who's right before this too. Penny, I love the music she plays, and I just like to listen to her talk because she has such a nice voice.
Right.
And this year I have written a piece in the play. I'm directing that piece, and I'm co-directing with Susan Alexander again, which I did last year. It's really fun to work with her. And I'm a producer, and have the tiniest little part in the same piece Agnes is in. Tiniest little part.
Well, in the wider cultural milieu, you're also a firefighter.
Yeah.
And so that's an important aspect of community.
Done some sweet musical, stage work here at the station and around the towns I've seen before.
Yes, I also make giant bubbles. I know that at the KMUD block party, I'm on.
Nice.
On the Bubble Patrol.
Yes, Bubble Patrol.
She has this little tiny part in our piece, but she gets me off stage, and that's a big thing.
That's hard to do.
But yeah, that's pretty much my intro.
Born and raised here, right?
Yeah.
I'm Andy Caffrey. I got into radio in Berkeley at Pacifica in 1987 when I worked with a guy named Will Nofke, who was one of the people who started New Dimensions Radio, which you can still hear on KMUD. And I came up here a year later to work on Earth First campaigns, specifically to save Headwaters Forest, and I got deeply involved in shooting video of not just the actions that people did, but also the culture, the music, the warrior poetry, the rants. And that's something I've now brought over to the Redwood Playhouse. Last year I got involved in acting for the first time in my life. I played a homeless kind of, I don't know, maybe he was God?
Prophet?
Was it God? Prophet? Yeah, named Moses. And I'm back this time. I'm playing an old retiring pot farmer. But I've been my first KMUD work was in 1989. I substituted for Daryl Cherney on the Environment Show, and I played a whole bunch of different Earth First musicians. And later on, when I got my own show, I did a show called Rockin' in the Tree World as DJ Gandy. Did that for a few years, and then I did some documentary public affairs stuff for homelessness and on the climate, mostly. Now I'm on the board of the Redwood Playhouse, and I run the YouTube channel, and I really want to encourage you to check out and subscribe to the Redwood Playhouse, not Random People, but the Redwood Playhouse YouTube channel, where you will see over the next few weeks almost all of the videos of all of the plays performed by Random People and Recycled Youth, Pure Schmidt, and some other things since 2006. Yeah, and I am blown away at how great these things are. The thing that is so exciting to me about being a part of this is that it is so much our culture. Everything about it is from here.
Yeah, it's all uniquely written, like locally sourced as you can get anything.
Yeah, I just presumed that community theater meant, all these people like to do, amateurs who do classic plays. No, that's not what this is about at all. These are the most idiosyncratic plays you can imagine. And if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see that I've got playlists for just the comedies, just the monologues, just the dramas, and I'm about to start one for just the weed plays and just the ecology plays. So anyways, I'm delighted to be here, and I'm also looking for people who want to volunteer to videotape the performances weekend after this one, and I'll give you my phone number now so you can start to think about getting a pencil, and at the end of the show, give me a call at area code 213-842-3082. Thanks.
I do have to mention that the videos are really cool. It's worth going and revisiting, and I've watched a couple, one with you and Marilyn, like you mentioned. And whether had seen them before, some of them I'd seen before, but now I just have different eyes. And the ones that I had missed, it's really fun. And it's kind of an easy way to kill time in the evening.
And a lot of local content that's surprisingly thoroughly baked and sort of
Is that really that surprising?
But we have one more person.
Okay, hi, yeah.
Bake plays.
I'm Katie. You probably know me, Katie, jazz lady. I'm an engineer here on KMUD, but this is my first time here with the crew. Joined, yes, I was encouraged by my daughter who does recycled youth to, join the thespians, and it's been super fun. It's been a really unique process, learning my role. I'm in a piece called The Strange Case of Being Here, and it's a really unusual, kind of surreal play, kind of like maybe a Twilight Zone kind of story. And so it's been extra, just unraveling that and learning my role for that. And it's been great working with Emily and Susan. I feel really honored with that. And as far as, tying into KMUD and my community, I do Sunday night, Lester Leaps In, which was an original KMUD show from Lester. So I'm always, I'm really honored to be carrying the torch for Les, and I try to always keep that in mind when I do my show, because I've listened to him for years and years and really developed my own love of jazz music by listening to his show. So yeah, it's just great. This community is amazing. It's like hard to imagine ever leaving or somewhere else, anything. We're just also amazing.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
I've had two mess ups on KMA that I laugh about, and one of them I used to come right before Les, and he'd always just come in right at the last minute, or I would be playing his theme song. But Belle had come in. It was during the fundraiser, and she started telling me about how the next Sunday she was making all the food, and she was going to make all this Jewish food for Les. And I always introduced the show. Now it's time for Lester Leaps In with 2 hours of jazz. And I don't know why, I looked at him and I said, now it's time for Lester Leaps In with 2 hours of Jews. And Les goes, did you say Jew? I go, oh my God.
That's a good one. That's a famously good one.
That's a
Oh, no, and
jazz
then
show.
my other one was Heart of the Earth, and when they were having that oak tree disease, and I was reading the story, and I meant to, I was reading it, instead of saying it, it came from some kind of organism, I said it came from an organism.
Well, didn't everything. And
A subtle but
monkeys, now it's
significant
trees.
difference.
It was an old man that calls me up to, he goes, ma'am, I think you're saying the wrong.
so,
And haven't you brought those lines into Random People Plays?
Oh, some of them.
there was mention of both Recycled Youth and Redwood Playhouse. Full disclosure, I'm currently the president of the board of the Redwood Playhouse. And we're sort of nurturing Recycled Youth, so I get to participate in Recycled Youth by helping out and see the flow of kids going through over the years. And Uma, your daughter, is a star, rising star, and I happened to be at the Mateel. They were rehearsing the Mateel yesterday. I was picking some stuff up for the show, and
The Matilda Redwood Playhouse.
I was at the Mateel
Oh,
picking stuff
so
up. It was old stage flats from Recycled Youth that have been back and forth. I've painted on dozens of times. But there was, they were just gathering for Recycled Youth, and there's a whole new crew of kids I didn't recognize. They looked at me and said, "Who are you?" And it was like, okay, the next batch are
That's
coming
awesome.
through.
Yeah, actually, I have to mention one of the Recycled Youth seniors, I think, Chloe Reed. She's also in our Randomonium play this year, and that's really exciting.
There has been some crossovers there that.
Oh, yeah,
sort
and
of
I think like this year Daniel, who used to be in
Yeah.
Recycled Youth,
Oh,
and
young
Hardy.
Daniel.
Huh?
Young Daniel.
Yeah, no, a lot. I mean, I remember one of those early videos. One of your sisters was involved, and
Oh yeah, I did
Nice.
Recycled Youth.
yeah, you were doing Recycled Youth. So yeah, I mean, this is the culture also translates into transmission of history and tradition. Right?
Yeah, well, I've been really
And-
lucky because I have photographed Recycled Youth for probably, almost near, the beginning.
Right.
And all of Random People and, all the programs that go on. So, man, I've just seen all the growth. It's just incredible.
We're keeping the creative arts sector open in the whole county. I mean, with the combined sort of art studios of the Mateel, KMUD, and Playhouse now stepping in, and evidently with some like persistence too, because the future hospital plan isn't actually uprooting having a playhouse there as a
Right, yeah, no, the hospital district recognizes the value of that place. And, well, one of the executives there, Kent sitting in the room said, "Yeah, I went to school here." He's got memories, you know. But yeah, they definitely are supportive of the whole concept of a public place like that. And in my mind, it sort of transcends the concept of real estate. I mean, this is beyond real estate.
Yeah.
This was a building that was built by the Public Works Administration in 1939 for public use as a school, purchased by a public agency, the College of the Redwoods, for use as a public school, and then purchased by the local nonprofit health
Foundation.
no, it's not the foundation, it's the Southern Humboldt Community Health District, which has an elected body of directors, and it's a public agency.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, how many times do tax-funded agencies have to buy the same building? I think we've got it paid for, and the community owns it, right?
Yeah. Community, are you sure about that? All right. If we just keep moving it around, it'll look busy enough.
Right. So we should talk about the show a little bit, but let's open, Dennis, do you want to play one of those clips, just to introduce the concept? So, that explains it, doesn't it?
So convenient.
Do we get paid for that yet?
Working on factions.
Yeah, no, I've got a grant in the works that if it comes through, we all get a little something, but you never know.
Something clause, everybody gets a little something, maybe.
I think we all just get a more than anything, just the good feeling you have of, sharing and being on the stage and having your community out there laughing with you and crying with you and clapping for you, and that, I think that's the biggest gift.
Well, having something to like work together with other people for, that's, it gets to be both like, you get to build up anxiety for it, but you don't have to like build up quite so much as like you're not, I don't know, racing.
You get to share the anxiety.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
A little bit of shared anxiety, and then you have your last week where we're there every day, and starting to like
And really build that anxiety.
pool the creative groups into one organism.
So those
Are you having anxiety, Katie?
For those who are unaware of what this process is, the Random People Theater Project has been around since 2006, I believe. And what we do is in the summer, there's writing workshops, and we invite anybody who has any interest in writing a script, experienced or not, to come and participate and work on some scripts.
It started off as monologues, just
Yeah, it started-
monologues.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Al or someone said, "No, wait a minute here."
Yeah, and now it's pretty much anything goes.
And you're lucky. We do have one monologue.
Yeah, actually, this year we've got a monologue that's being performed by the writer, which is always.
Oh, it's a great
Yeah.
piece. It's just,
Yeah.
So then, after we've kind of worked on scripts, those who feel like they've got a finished script submitted, and we take a look at it and try to arrange a reasonable length of a show and select scripts. And then the way we've been doing it is directors are those who have directed in the past or who have mentored under a director previously, so that there's a little experience in their transmission of experience. Then we have auditions, and people get cast in January, and because everybody's got a life and busy and everything, the way it works is each of our short scripts, directors and actors arrange rehearsals on their own, so not everybody has to be in the same place at the same time.
Mhm.
And then we had a couple of run-throughs where everybody shows up. And then starting next week, it's going to be full-on, everybody's there, and getting their costumes together and trying to...
Hell Week.
Yeah, affectionately known as Hell Week, where we hone all the technical aspects and the lighting and the sound cues and final rehearsals, and then next weekend after this, it's showtime.
You know, Friday at 7, Saturday at 7, and then Saturday and Sunday at 2. Doors a half hour earlier than that. You don't want to get there at 7.
6th and 7th.
Great.
Mhm.
So, are you feeling it?
We're feeling it.
Boy,
It's coming quick.
Nothing go wrong. A few years ago, I was in a piece and I was supposed to be using a cell phone, and I go, Siri, Siri, from the stage, and Jenny Edwards' telephone or her iPad all the way in the back of the stage heard it, and Siri starts answering it.
Yeah, we were joking about that.
Without even auditioning? My God.
We joked about that. We got some Bluetooth mics and thought, what if everybody in the audience starts parrying with the Bluetooth?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's the new age of tech.
Yeah,
No,
we have
well-
a piece, Oshaka's in that piece this year, kind of about that.
Yeah. There's usually some good coverage of concepts, but yeah, the tech piece is pretty fun. The one that got away,
Is that the one with the artificial intelligence?
the artificial intelligence, the presentation by the game's
Yes.
sort of developer, and
Yes.
and then I'm just a dude, just a bro hanging out, being
Yeah,
chill
well-
with my.
Don't let them
roommate.
tell you that.
Well,
Shaka.
we always remind people to shut off their cell phones or put it on airplane mode during the show. So
I'd actually
hopefully-
advise leaving them off after the show and then turning them back on personally, but
Well, you can remind them to turn them
They
back
have
on.
to raise their seat back chairs as well.
yes.
So, the idea of live theater, if you're not a live theater fan or you haven't been to a lot of plays, you ought to try it, because it's a unique experience. It's never the same twice.
Mhm.
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, it's sort of like watching the crashes at a race, I guess. You never know what can happen.
A live performance, I mean, I'm just so, live performance for me over a movie or, something
Right.
else, it's just,
And if you look away, you miss it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
if
and
you're
it's
not there, you didn't
unbelievable.
see it.
I sat last Saturday night at the Mateel. I mean, my gosh. I mean, there was a great movie that started it, cult classic, but that burlesque afterwards, wow.
Shaka. Well, I have to say, the audience is a huge part of the piece. Like, we all work really hard for 2 months to put on this piece for the audience, but if the audience doesn't show up, then we're missing that very important
Right.
player in the thing. And we, as actors on stage, are being fueled by the interest that the audience
The
is giving
reactions,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, and
We
so,
want your attention.
yes, can we have your attention, please?
Adulation, laughter.
Yes, that too, that too.
I mean, I always say, even with rehearsal, Lee will go down, bring a little more. I go, when there's an audience out there, I do much better, you just come to life
Yeah.
when you're on that stage.
It's a
And
lot of energy. You have to manage it because it's very easy to get a little too amped up and you start speaking a little fast and you're going through your lines and you're like, finding the medium amount is interesting too, because you've still got more energy to go on than when it's just an empty room. Like there's almost
Yeah.
something intrinsic to, hold on a second, whole bunch of people are hearing this. I gotta.
If I screw up now, someone's going to notice.
Well, Southern Humboldt has notoriously wonderful audiences.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
the Spring Chicken show that was so amazing that happened just a month or two ago.
Mm.
They had to turn people away at the door multiple times, multiple nights. So
That's why we're doing 2 matinees now.
Right.
We have doubled the matinees, which is a 33% increase in performances.
Great.
Um,
And it makes for a heck of a day, Saturday. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
yeah,
an up day for
get,
sure.
get done with one and then have like 2.5 hours to like shake it out and slowly just sort of like put it back on.
well, when I was in Recycled Youth, they used to bus all the kids over from South Fork, and we would do a day show for all of the high schoolers, and then that evening we would do our normal shows.
Yeah, same. When I was with Jenny and I did drama at the high school, 4 years with Jenny Edwards, and we did a lot of performances, and I think more than once we did 2 in a day. So if you're gonna go to all the trouble of getting it ready,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no fun to walk away from that last performance being like, that's it. I like to feel like I never want to see these people again. That's the threshold I want to get
Be
to.
full up on it. I do note, like, last time and some of the times it'll be like, the only night we have extra seating is the first night. And then people make all the noise about it and come home and they're like, oh wow, I went out and saw the theater, they're actually doing something over there. and then it starts to pack up and back up in the next couple of days. So.
Right. Yeah, come early and often. That's
Yeah,
it.
well, one of the best compliments I ever got, I did a piece with Ross and with Moss, and it was all about Les Schwab and on the phone and stuff and talking about him. And Slade came up to me. She said, "Oh my gosh! After we saw that play, when something would go wrong at home, I'd go, well, what would Les Schwab do?" And it all came from random people being
So
at that show.
you just mentioned Moss, one of our random alums, beloved random alums who moved up north, and he's been doing plays up north now based on his experience down
How
here.
could he?
And he's currently doing Shakespeare, which I think is a
I
lot.
want to see that.
That's pretty classic.
Yeah.
Shake what?
Yeah, he's what? Like the combat?
It's 12th night. I'm not sure what his role is, but it's there's
12th night of what?
no, it's or
Oh, sorry.
12th night or which you will. I saw a pidgin English version of 12th night in Hawaii once called 12th night or whatever.
You might be surprised, but we actually have a whole bunch of extraordinary actors. Last year when I was a part of it, I was like gobsmacked. There's like a dozen of these people who I thought they're absolutely brilliant. And last week I told Marilyn Foote that she is my favorite actor. Not my favorite local actor, my favorite actor. I like her better than Katharine Hepburn. Okay, so there are some really talented people, and like you were saying, Agnes, you guys have been doing it for a long time. And yes, there's room for novices like me and Katie to come in, but you're going to be really entertained with just the raw talent that we've got here. Plus, these plays are proof that pot adds to creativity.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I
I just
find the
have to say,
insinuation extremely inappropriate.
it's been really fun to work with you, Andy, and I feel like at the beginning of this, because you're in the piece that I wrote, you kind of said you don't really know if you're going to be able to do it or take it on, and I've just watched you bloom over the past 2 months, and I'm really happy with your performance, and it's just fun every rehearsal to watch you on stage, and it's this. I feel the same way with you, Katie, that you stepped into a piece that's pretty dense, or it kind of on paper hard to understand, and you brought that character to life, and it's so fun and bubbly, and yeah, it's been a great experience.
Yeah, no, that is one of the fun things. You read a script and it's dry on paper, and you don't, and it's sort of unrealized. You don't really know what the characters are going to be, and then you throw in people who have their unique characters, and then with the director, with their unique vision of the piece, and it takes on a whole new life, and then you don't really know how it's going to come off until the very end when all the lighting happens and the effects and the
magic.
The magic, yeah.
And one of the things, that Andy did this year is we just did a basic run through a few weeks ago, and he recorded it. And so be able to look at that, I mean, the changes we've made, as soon as I said, oh my gosh, and Marilyn saw it and Leah saw it, and I said, oh wait, we should do this. It just opened our vision as to how much improvement we could do. I mean, it was fine the way it was, but just watching that video, a rehearsal video, it's really helped all the actors.
But you guys can't see those rehearsal videos. Those are unlisted. They're just for the actors. But the other thing
And the
too,
directors.
yes, right. The other thing about it too is that the word play is so truthful. I've spent most of my time here since 1988 involved in activism of one sort or another. And of course, I ran for Congress for a while. But I got involved in this and I thought, oh my God, I can't remember lines. You think everyone is going to compare you to the best actors they've ever seen, and who hasn't seen all the great actors? And it's just not like that at all. It's so supportive, everyone is like so, I don't know, how is it you guys are just, you take it easy so much? Especially the producers, you guys are like, you know, responsible for the whole thing. But it is so much fun, and I never thought about doing acting because I thought I could not memorize lines. And then it just, when you get into the process, it just after 2 months, they're sort of there.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it too much. So when you go on stage, you aren't really remembering your lines. You're just sort of
Telling a story.
being the lines. And it's a really transformational experience, and it's also a concentration of consciousness. And there's so much chaos in the world, and all these different news stories, and all this stuff. And with this, there's a certain purity when you witness these plays, because the writers and the actors and the directors have all spent their weeks concentrating more and more to make the thing happen, and it's a very beautiful thing.
It's basically as old as our civilization, if you want to go back, you know, and be, well, Western focused and think about the Greeks.
Hey,
where
Dennis.
it comes from.
Is there someone out there answering the phones? Okay.
Yeah.
Because we
Now that we've wet your whistle.
okay, well, no, well,
Oh my
we.
God, is that Kate's baby?
Oh, there's Dora would answer the phone, because, well, we actually, you know, this is KMUD, it's our fund drive, and we want to give away a pair of tickets to random people. Oh, how much did we want, a regular subscription? Yeah, a regular subscription?
Should we do 2 regular subscriptions, a ticket each, or what do you think?
It sounds like a fair enough split we can make.
Yeah, so.
I'll say yes without knowing what we are.
So if somebody wants a ticket or a pair of tickets, give us a call at 707-923-3911 and pledge your support to KMUD, and you get to, you know, hear and see us all at the Redwood Playhouse.
And the way that would work is we'll get your name and expect you at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Doro's here, so she can answer the phone. So all you listening, and we've got your, you know, you're drooling. I've got to go see this, and you've got to help KMUD. So this is your moment.
Yeah.
And think about how long it's been since you heard the pledge drive announcement. What, like
Yeah.
38 nights?
All this time. But
Peace isn't free, you know.
but theater, it's my experience in theater has been interesting in that. I mean, yeah, for one, you think
Yeah, that's small.
memorizing the lines is going to be just a feat, and then it starts to actually sink in. Unlike, you know, film and things, which I still don't have much experience with, but you actually get enough time to where it starts to become like a, I don't know, you know, the memory is ingrained with the movement and the expression and whatnot, but you get used to doing something that's outside of your usual well enough, and communication is one of those just overwhelming things. Communication, interacting with other people, you know.
I don't follow.
All right, well, it has something to do with doing a performed an act of a play where you have to interact with people. And you
Hey,
have to
I
get
had
to
to
work on-
direct him in a Shakespeare piece.
That was- yeah. But then you have to, or you actually get the time to work on your communication and your, like, the messaging. You reform it and you refine, you know, oh, don't step on their next line. You know, oh, I should not, you know, not be dumb during this next
There's all
interaction.
this subtle non-verbal
Yeah.
things about communication, the way we just jump in front of each other and cut each other off and say things and
But doing that intentionally.
gestures and gesticulation.
Well, I've been, last year, Shocker, you came to a couple of them, but did a couple improv workshops.
Yeah.
And even in rehearsal, I know Andy and Katie could speak to this, we played a lot of games, especially in the beginning, but I feel like that helps so much. Just playing games, it builds a lot of energy. It does create connection between all of the different cast members. And it can kind of get you a head start into the process.
And a bit nice and outside of your own head too, because otherwise, what do you have to interact with other people for? Huh? Your job. On the side of that, maybe volunteering.
My brain.
Yeah, your brain, but you try to apply that to other people, and sometimes it doesn't stick. You know, you take your brain and other brains, and you give them the same cause.
And especially these days with the decline of our local scene around here, there used to be, I used to spend a lot of time in town. I had a shop in town in the early 90s, and had a lot of time in town, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and always meeting people and running into people, and the opportunity to do that are fewer and fewer now.
Well, I just kind of feel like we're, coming full circle because, being here in the late 70s and early 80s, I mean, all there was us and our creativity.
Right.
And just as I was telling Mumsy yesterday, there's just not much difference between our local musicians and would you go pay a lot of money for someone that was lucky enough to get a record contract or whatever, and that's what we have is each other.
Oh, yeah.
And more people, more neighborhoods are now going back to having the potluck, for the weekend, the neighbors getting together because no one's worried about seeing each other's pot or whatever, There's 6 plants there.
Wait a minute, what do you mean we're going from being rich people to being a rich society?
Oh.
And when I mentioned Emily's a firefighter, I also forgot to mention she's also a musician.
Oh, yes.
Galen plays little music, writes.
I have no, oh
Things.
God.
I mean, the kind of, the term cultural creative comes to mind. There's a term, cultural creatives, for people who are involved in creating culture.
Well, I'm absolutely tone deaf, and Al actually got me to sing when we did the Resonaires or whatever that was.
Oh, I'm gonna get you to sing too, darling.
No, I'm always kind of like moving my mouth, looks like I'm singing.
With the words, we'll get there.
Yes, Galen's got anticipation for the coming overture, or what's it called?
It's a finale, Joshua. We call it a finale.
Okay.
Because afterwards we get to go home.
Must be celebrated. Well, except for Saturday, where we will celebrate that we get to stay.
Chuck and Galen, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what you guys do, because last year, the opening play was the one you guys did. It's so freaking crazy. I mean, it's manic, it's tight. I told you during rehearsals that I wanted to copy the script because I wanted to catch each word that you were saying. This stuff is very precise, and you did this sword fight. It's almost like dancing. Maybe that's what you're doing last night or Saturday. A sword fight dance.
That's a different kind of sword fight.
Yeah, I'm actually the writer of both of those pieces. And the year before, it was The Cave, which I didn't act in, but did write for. And then I think Moss directed it. And
I don't write. I just pick apart other people's writing and nag people and superimpose my will over things.
he's been excellent to have.
It's called
all
an
the,
editor. It's a wonderful job.
Yeah, the in-house Shakespeare expert actually is how I've been using him, and.
It means I know what the word soliloquy means.
Distinct.
Well,
as a word,
the
when
year
it's
we had that was kind of a takeoff on Shakespeare, and nobody wanted to direct it. Shakespeare, no, and I just went. I just looked around. I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And then I said, "Oh my God, what did I get myself into?" But Shaka did such an incredible job.
That was my first year with the Random people.
Yeah.
The chef of Avon.
Yeah, that was.
That was a very fun one.
I kind of grew up with Shakespeare. My grandma used to make me read plays with her when I was like 9, and then my folks would drag me up to Oregon, where I would go to see the Ashland the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is, a very alternatively minded theater. You had your Prince Hal riding on stage on a motorcycle with a Burger King crown. You had Coriolanus rappelling down the wall of the Elizabethan theater. They did a lot of very cool, sort of crazy things with what is normally, pretty codified, static material.
Yeah, Ashland was the early experience for me to several field trips where there was one, I think we were in town for 5 days and saw 6 plays.
Wow.
Yeah, they did a lot of stuff there. I actually got in trouble on a school trip though.
Oh yeah, that comes with that.
Sorry, Jenny.
I'd like to encourage a lot of you to come to the first couple of plays, because I think a lot of you are going to want to come back and see a second performance.
There you go.
So don't wait until the Sunday matinee to show up. In editing the video from last year, I've watched these plays probably 30 times.
More than anybody.
And not to say you should just ignore the play and watch it on TV. I would not want you to do that.
No.
But there is a lot of depth, and a play is normally written and performed for a one-time experience, unlike a movie or a TV show. But there is a lot to it that you can enjoy afterward.
You know, the first time I did Random People, I had written a monologue about a woman's experience in boarding school, and this was, 2008 maybe I did it, and everyone just thought I was crazy. Like, what are you talking about? No one had really heard about the boarding school experience. So then a couple of years ago, I revised it and rewrote it and did it again because people were aware of that situation. So while there's a lot of comedy, there's also, a lot of just awareness that comes through. And I know for a handful of years, we would, instead of having just all these different strange plays, we'd have a theme like it happened at an airport or it happened at a park. Where I think a hospital was one of them too.
Was there a hotel?
Oh, and there was a hotel one too.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was great because in the park one, I wrote a monologue about this woman that wanted to get the land back to her people. Her Native people wanted the land back, and that brought a lot of awareness. And that year also, I just felt, I don't know if you've seen that one about with the four homeless. It was Jacob, the late Jacob, and Al, and Patricia Martella, and I forgot who and Munson, the late Munson. Oh my gosh, yeah. And they each one of them were four different homeless people telling their story. Cherie Porter wrote it, and I always just felt like it was just such a powerful piece, and it really spoke from the heart, experiences that people go through. So, while there's a lot of laughter, there's also some drama.
Yeah, and writing, the first piece I wrote was how long ago, 10 years ago or so. My goal was to do a sort of dramatic tragedy sort of thing. Of course, Susan directed it and she said, no, it's a comedy.
Oh, thanks a lot, Susan.
So it was a poignant comedy, how's that? But it's very difficult. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's easier to write comedy than serious
Well, I
stuff.
think the one I did,
I don't
you
know
wrote one.
about
No, you wrote one that I was in, me and Carl Hansen.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was, it turned out to be kind of both.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about my piece this year. I intended to write a comedy, and I kept telling everybody as we went, I'm like, but don't worry, it's going to be funny. And I mean, well, next weekend it will be determined. I think we'll get some laughs, but it didn't actually come out as comedic as I thought it was.
No, it's hard to evoke, to get people crying.
Well, except, why don't you tell them what we did today? We did the Jim Carrey version of our play.
Yeah, the over-the-top run-through, that's kind of a common thing that you do by the time show is coming around. So I said, go as big as you can, and then I kind of had to say partway through, like, remember that the pharmacy's open right now, guys. But it was very fun and definitely.
I was in the board meeting down the hall, and you guys could have been a lot louder.
We actually did the same thing with our pieces, but when I read it, I mean, to me it was just the funniest thing, and I thought, gosh, then we did it, and a few people laughed, but they clapped afterwards, so I was really happy. But sometimes it's like people's sense of humor isn't the same as
Every show is different.
It is.
And then we've got, 8 short plays with, as many directors just about. So each show is different in a, fractally different kaleidoscope of different plays.
And of course, we'll have some refreshments.
And refreshments.
Things to spend money on.
So, guys, I'm going to have to go get my gavel and preside over a meeting.
Yes.
So I'm going to leave it to you. And Katie, you speak up a little too about your experience.
All right. I have to go too and be gavelled over.
You guys have fun.
Don't get bored.
I don't really want to give away the plot of my piece, but as far as what
I don't know what it's about.
you gonna see it at the runtime? It's okay. You can see it at the show.
They keep the suspense alive.
But as Andy was saying, he's been putting all of these old productions up on YouTube, and I watched one the other day. It was with Carl and Marilyn and Galen, and it was from 2018, I want to say. And it's kind of surprising because I hadn't seen it until watching it on YouTube. And
Was that the Growers one?
it was the Growers.
I directed
you,
that.
You directed it. That's right. You directed it. It said that on there too. But it's almost like a prequel to my piece, or it's kind of interesting to see how these things are written and what kind of statement they're making about what we're going through as a community.
Yeah.
And my piece is almost like it really truly is 5 years later.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, I've seen, I got some comments of sort of that kind of a similarity from, you know, one of the other writers, or maybe a few of them actually. My piece last year had a lot to do with the angst and existentialism of writing a thing and making that decision of it's going to be this and whatnot. And that's the what Andy was talking about of my me and Galen's act last year. What is high trait neuroticism plus creativity? You know,
Like I said, it's also, it feels to me at least when I've written and the thing, you know, over the years, it always seems like there's room for more ideas, and that's something I'm hoping to get into more in the future is, you know, writing with a room instead of each individually breaking off and going to our own separate places and bringing ideas piecemeal. So, you know, even if you don't have a whole idea for a script, if there's like some tiny little thing that you know is funny, that could really make or break something else. And, you know, the more we develop a working relationship together, the more it's going to behoove us to write together. So that's kind of what I'm going to try to get.
I was actually telling a story, I think it was to Carl last year, about, you know, how my husband and I bought this, one of those foam beds, and it got delivered, you know, and you have to do it a certain way. And my husband's decided he wanted it a different way, and the thing's blowing up on me. And I mean, it was just really funny. And Carl goes, you know, that would make a really good random people story. I said, I don't think we could get an exploding foam bed, but, you know.
There's moments from life that,
Yeah.
you know, just everyone can relate to.
And there's really no limits. I'm working on a play now. I'm writing it called When Greta Thunberg Meets Old Jim Morrison. And the basic premise is that Jim Morrison didn't die. He went down to Antarctica.
No, he's hanging
to
out
become
with
a
Elvis
scientist.
and
And
Tupac.
he's so freaked out about that, he's got to come back and set Greta straight. And then, you know, we're going to perform a whole bunch of Doors songs too. Oh, one other thing. We should mention the dress rehearsal.
Kind of.
Or should we not mention the dress rehearsal?
that's you.
We cannot
Okay.
deny or confirm any rumors of a dress rehearsal. Thank you. Next question.
But it would be the night before the other performances.
Theoretically, if such a thing did exist, who knows where it would be? Possibly, you know.
It definitely costs money though. So.
Yeah. So just come to the live one.
Don't think you're gonna get it.
No, it doesn't.
Well, not to us, but you know, to attendees we didn't invite. You know, that's the deal. You gotta bribe your way in.
Okay, an advocate for homeless people, I gotta say.
All right.
The best time is at the paid performances.
Mhm.
You know, maybe you're more invested if you pay money, but if you don't, you don't have to miss out on this. And you don't have to just watch the video. You can come the night before the performance, the paid performance. That's next Thursday at 7 o'clock, same time as the other evening performances.
Oh, that I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, well, it's a
It's
good
kind of
guess.
weird.
It's a
But
good
contact
guess.
Andy and he'll tell you afterwards.
right.
I mean, you know, there is a thing about dress rehearsals being, and I'm not trying to discourage anyone from coming, but they'll say that your dress rehearsal often is pretty blah and mediocre because everything's just kind of coming together. It's your first time like doing it all. And then your opening night is just, you know, amazing.
So if you're in the audience for the dress rehearsal, please let us know so we can turn it up just for you.
And speaking of my phone number, again, we are looking for 12 people to run the cameras. We do a 3-camera shoot of each of the performances if we have enough people to do it. So if you have any kind of camera experience, you don't have to be a videographer. Even with your smartphone, if you're
You have
pretty good at
thumbs.
it and you can be attentive to a camera, give me a call. I'm Andy, and it's area code 213-842-3082. Thank you.
That's right. And
We should probably reiterate that this show is happening on April 5th, 6th, and 7th. We are doing evening shows at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30. And we are doing 2 matinees this year for all of the people who don't want to drive in the dark, just like my parents. That will be at 2 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday, and doors will open about 1:30.
that's very true. That is very true and factual.
Do we need any volunteers for
Big
anything
if
else?
true.
I think that we're pretty covered.
Yeah, we're covered.
Yeah, we'll just move all the stuff ourselves and we'll get it done. I believe in us, team.
Gonna bake cupcakes.
We've
And
got
maybe
that.
we'll make another pie.
Yeah, Agnes needs to be fine.
I'm sure there's lots of you in the wings who have all kinds of good ideas. We hope to do some improv stuff over the summer, maybe some other things depending on what turnouts look like. But we'll have an interest sheet for those of you to sign up at the performances, and so we can start to grow this community a little more. Because that's the only thing that worries me, is that we're missing somebody's great idea.
Well,
They
that's
didn't bring
right.
it to us.
And you only have to, there's no obligation for you to do it for more than 1 year or something, but please come out and participate at least once. It's really fun, and it's kind of a rare opportunity, I would say.
Yeah, there's a lot more pressure if you're in a larger population area. We kind of have a nice deal here where we make it work and figure it out.
Good chance to shake a leg. Some parts are a lot more relaxed than others.
Yes, they
you might
are.
have, mostly the excuse to come and be part of something, and then, the time pressure is, well, you got to memorize these 40 words, and you're going to do these 3 things.
Yeah, like in the piece I'm in this year, I was saying there's a young man that, we're really helping him out. But last year he came and he was just helping on stage. He was helping Terry, the station manager. And this year he actually read for a part. So that was really exciting.
And, he's really helping us out, moving all that stuff and being all tough and actorly and stuff like that.
And if you want to be hip, you really should come. I mean, think about it. 4 shows, capacity is about 125. That's 500 people out of a community of what, 10,000 in the broader area?
Right.
So this is a very popular event. We, little
Limited
ritual we
edition.
put together every year.
Community theater.
And you should
Offer
come.
wood.
If you need
No one regrets it. I don't think we've ever had a complaint.
never before seen plays, except for by like us, pretty much. Never before played plays until the weekend after this one. And so we'll see you all there, and we're coming right on up to the top here.
Do we have a closing piece?
We might have a closing piece.
Dennis, did Josh leave a closing piece? Okay. Is it 3 minutes or should we?
No, it's about a minute.
Okay, so I guess we'll just say goodbye.
Yes.
Yes.
Say goodbye for 1 minute, and then we'll be hitting the top.
And he'll be doing the promo, and then at 6 o'clock we have our local news. One of the great things we have here at KMUD. Give us a call at 707-923-3911, and give your support to this community radio station, or go to kmud.org and hit the blue donate button.
Let's hear it out for like the fact that we've got like radio and theater in a tiny rural area that just happens to be California, but it isn't slacking
All we
on
need
it.
is a telegraph, and then we'll have like every expired.
We actually had a play where the radio station was KMUD.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
That's
KMUD.
good.
That's right. That's when the Resinettes did their performance. We had our own girl group, like Phil Spector had a girl group called the Resinettes.
That's really good.
One of the questions
Resonator.
people have been asking me if there are going to be advanced tickets here.
No,
Just at the door.
Just at the door.
Okay, Dennis, you can go ahead with the promo. And again, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all the first weekend in April, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Salut. Booyah.
Can you hear it? Oh, no.
Oh, it's
I'm just listening to the promo.
oh right.
Nice.
How many did you guys make?
Two.
The two.
We would have
Okay.
done more if we'd been able to kidnap Sierra, but I think she couldn't take that shit. Or vice versa.
Those are awesome. Good job.
Yeah, it's good process.
Well, that was fun.
That'll make people want to come. Funny commercials.
Yeah, what I want to do at those rehearsals or at,
Do with Jim Carrey or
well, we should do that, but I want to take a selfie.
oh, it's selfie.
yeah,
You know, and then put that
A
on.
selfie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got, there's two, my group, we didn't get a picture of mine, and then the
Oh.
AL one, because, AI or whatever, because somebody wasn't there, and someone
You
was.
mean when you took the pictures of all the crews? All the
Yeah,
cast?
yeah, there's two
You
missing.
didn't
but-
get your own picture?
No, no. Well, because I had this new camera, and I didn't think, Chloe could figure it out, because I
Oh,
was having
well,
problems.
I'm an Ansel Adams School trained photographer, so if you want someone
Oh,
to
me
handle it.
too. Mine Ed Weston, I did Ed Weston.
Cool.
But you aren't an athletic, trained selfie taker.
I'm gonna leave all this. I'll get a plate of Are you hungry? I made this all. I was just gonna put it all in here.
Oh yeah. I'm just going home.
I was just gonna put this all again. It's, that chicken is, I just like, it's like a sauce I make. It kind of looks like, kind of corn chicken, but it's not.
Oh, good. All right, that went well.